Welcome, Tushar Patel from Concept Hotels. Thanks for joining us today on the Guestbook show. I'd love to just start off really quickly and just learn a little bit about your journey in hospitality. It's an amazing journey, very similar to mine. So, Tushar, with that, please share how your journey in hospitality started and kind of where you are today.
Thanks for having me. My journey started as a child. I grew up in motels. I'm Asian Indian American, so Patel is the last name. Patel Motel. People say that all the time. So I was in the industry from the get-go, and actually didn't have any intention of going down that road. I was actually the polar opposite. I didn't want anything to do with the hotel industry or hospitality, but I ended up going down that path. And got fortunate with a great company like Concept, who I've been with. It'll be 11 years next month in December. And I started as a front desk agent and worked my way up, and held a lot of different positions. And now I'm at the corporate level. Just a little bit of background there. I originally was just doing a front desk job to pay my way through school. I was a sociology major, was intending to go to law school. That was kind of my dream as a kid. I was on track to do that, and just needed to pay the bills while I was going my way through college. And ultimately, opportunity met a crossroads. I had some family circumstances that kind of accelerated the timeline for my need to provide for my mom, and had some decisions to make. And so at that career crossroads, the immediacy of jumping into a hospitality career versus 3 more years of law school, and then who knows how the job market would have been after that. That kind of led me to go down this path. And so I committed to hospitality at that point. I did multi-property, general managing. I did revenue management for one hotel. Then I got revenue management for the entire portfolio. And over the years, that kind of role has just kind of kept growing. And at this point, sales and marketing is in that place, as well as revenue strategy. And that's kind of what I'm doing now as a corporate director of sales, marketing, and revenue.
Amazing, man. Thanks for sharing that. Obviously, BMO and the executive team at Concept just running a great ship, amazing assets, and led with great resources and team members like you. So yeah, thank you for sharing your journey along that way. In that journey, obviously, you and I have crossed paths last summer. I think we met at the Hotel Data Conference in Nashville. We really hit it off. I really love talking to you about the progressive ways that the hospitality industry can kind of move forward, progress, and not be so afraid to be agile. Speaking of that and innovation, particularly for you, like what kinds of innovation would you love to see, whether it's on the digital marketing side, whether it's on the revenue management side, and kind of what are those innovations for the future? And more importantly, how do you think revenue management is going to be handled post-COVID?
So the innovation, that's one of the most special things about, this particular industry. It's ever evolving. Like there's never a moment that it's not chameleon-like and adapting and just changing, right? So, with the pandemic hitting, there was so much that took place in the last 7 months. With people launching all sorts of cleanliness programs and trying to build consumer confidence and all this other stuff. So super fascinating on that front, to just kind of go through that. We did the same thing. So the innovation is never ending. And that's kind of what is exciting about the industry, right? Like there's never a dull moment and you're always challenged, which some people might not like that in their particular field of choice. But I think hoteliers and people in hospitality love it because there's always something new to learn, something to figure out, and something to push, the envelope with. And so that's something that you guys are doing as well. Like the Guestbook was something that was very innovative because it gave independent hotels like ours the opportunity to give rewards to customers, which obviously that's something within the last 5 years that's blown up in terms of, points and cash rewards and all that sort of stuff. So I think it was a great opportunity to partner with you guys. Love the direction you guys are going in. And you've come a long way within, the 2 years that we've been partners. And so super excited to continue to see where you guys go.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, we just want to be part of that innovation journey, whether it's with your hotels or other hotels that are partners. And speaking specifically of the journey, when we started discussing the needs for Concept, and how do we elevate that experience for the guest, the Concept Hotels guest. That's at that intersection is where we ultimately came to recognizing that Guestbook would be a great fit for Concept. So yeah, I'd love for you if you could just further your experience on, kind of the discovery process of what you were looking for a solution, and then just kind of your entire journey with Guestbook, how that's been. I know you touched on it a little bit, but I'd love to hear just more about just your experience as a whole. You're a hotelier, you're in the trenches. You've got two hands but 40 things to do, and going through that process, what has been the actual journey for you with the Guestbook?
It was super seamless. I mean, that's a kudos to you guys. The team is incredible. You and Gabby, who I've worked with really closely, have done, amazing work and have made this entire process as smooth as possible. When we first, connected, I talked about how we had done some demos with other competitors of yours, and we're just kind of looking through all our options, vetting everything, and putting a plan together on what we wanted to do. The goal was always, we need to do this because it's something that consumers want. And so it was just a matter of which route are we going to go down, and weighing all the pros and cons, and talking to you guys about how seamless the integration would be, the customization on the design front, and all the adaptability that you guys provide was really, really important. So that's like something, I brought on an RMS when I became a director of revenue here. I integrated the CRS and the PMS. So I've done a lot of systemic work. And so when something back-end related comes up, my first question is, how easy is that going to be? And how much of a burden is it going to be on me and my time to put this together? And yours is literally, the Guestbook is literally like plug and play, which was phenomenal. Like, I didn't have to do any work. We chose some colors, we chose some language, and that was it. And it's good to go, right? So that was the best part about, partnering up with you guys and having it be so seamless. The decision to go down that road, like I said, it seemed like it was just an inevitability. We were going to have to make a choice at some point. And you guys came along right at the right time. And it was a perfect meeting of minds.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the testaments to kind of just the Guestbook, it always goes back to home, which is what we talked about many, many times, is that it's been built by hoteliers for hoteliers. So we speak the language, we understand RevPAR, we understand complications at the front desk, we understand operational pain points. And I think speaking that language in tandem with hoteliers like you, it just cuts out all the fluff. It's not a sales tool. It's really more of like, this can amplify your existing strategy. Let us know how we can help. And I really love that relationship with our hotel partners, such as you. What's new at Concept? Anything on the horizon that you wish to share? Any assets that are coming online, and any new technologies that you guys are looking into? Just what is new at Concept Hotels?
Yeah, so just right before the pandemic hit, we were set to open our second property in the Santa Fe, New Mexico market. We had purchased it in December, shut it down. We're doing a complete renovation, interior and exterior. I was super excited because the marketing hat that I got to put on this time around included hiring an agency to help us with the branding of that hotel. So we did all these exercises. We met in Santa Fe, talked to a historian of Santa Fe, and came up with this story of this new hotel. And we were set to open in March. And that's right when obviously the pandemic hit. It made sense for us to keep it shut at that point. Ultimately, we were able to open the doors back in June. It's been an incredible challenge, obviously, because we're still in the midst of the pandemic, and that's made it really difficult. But, we're operational. The doors are open. We're trying to drive revenue to keep them open. So that's the latest asset that came on board. The opportunities within, what the landscape is like in hospitality these days is encouraging because, there's people that are looking to sell for whatever reason, whether they just need cash or they're just looking to move on. So super excited about what I'm hearing from Bimal and our executive team about some of the prospects. We're looking to expand the footprint. Right now, we're exclusively in California, particularly the Bay Area and Santa Fe, New Mexico. But I'm really excited about some of the opportunities that we're exploring in the likes of Arizona and Colorado, and some other states and towns on the West Coast. So hopefully in the next 6 months or so, there'll be at least 1 or 2 more projects that get added on, which will bring the portfolio up to 10 hotels.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Like, I am so excited to hear about you guys' growth, always following the journey with you and the concept team. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Listen, I'm just going to rapid fire a few questions, not to put you on the spot or anything, but let's say you're traveling. Do you prefer beach, urban, or wilderness, nature?
I wouldn't mind any of them, but if I had to choose, I definitely think I'm a beach person,
Okay.
a fish that, didn't necessarily learn how to swim, but taught myself. And that's kind of how I fell in love with water. So I would definitely say beach.
Awesome. And outside of the hotels, the amazing hotels that Concept Hotels has, favorite hotel in the world?
Favorite hotel in the world? Man, I don't think I can answer that just yet. I want to do a tremendous amount of traveling. Obviously, can't do that right now.
Hmm.
And when I do travel, I tend to choose, off the beaten path as opposed to something more traditional, right? Like a cookie cutter or something like that. Being in the experiential hotel business and boutique hotels, I tend to go down that
Hmm.
road. So it's always different. But now you have all the big brands and the major companies having their own off brands and boutique concepts of their own. So
Hmm.
it's always interesting to kind of go experience that, get new ideas and stuff like that. So no particular brand that I'm loyal to. I'm open to all, but I do tend to choose experiential hotels.
Okay. If you cook, what's your favorite thing to cook?
I love cooking and have done a lot of it in the last 7 months. Learned a lot of new dishes, and really fine tune some of my favorites. I keep it simple. As some steak and eggs is great. I think I've mastered my medium rare cook on my steak. In this last 7 months, it's something difficult to achieve and is dependent on the steak that you get. But I think I'm versatile enough now that I can cook it really well, regardless of what steak I get.
Got it. Amazing. And as hoteliers, we understand customer service. We understand, being loyal to a brand. Curious, in another vertical that's similar to hospitality, but in the airline space, favorite airline or one that executes something that brings, joy and happiness to you. So favorite airline to travel on.
Yeah, I mean, that one is an easy one. It's Southwest for me. I have a Southwest card, use Southwest points.
This guy too.
Yeah, I use Chase points and transfer them over to Southwest. And I think the thing I appreciate about them the most is just the first class experience they give to an economy traveler, right? I think their
Facts.
approach to what they do is just phenomenal because, as a Priority Rewards member, you get priority boarding and those things, but you get free upgrades and all this other stuff that makes you feel, like a VIP and extra special. And I think they
Hmm.
execute that incredibly well.
Got it. Yeah, me too. I agree. Can't agree more. With that, Tushar, I thank you for joining us today on the Guestbook Show. Thank you so much for your time, sharing your journey, sharing what's new at Concept Hotels. The Guestbook team and all of our partners look forward to continued success for Concept as you continue to grow that portfolio in California and in New Mexico. Once again, Tushar Patel from Concept Hotels. Thank you so much for your time today, bud.
I
Appreciate it.
appreciate it, Dev. Thanks for the opportunity. Wishing you and the family and the rest of the Guestbook team continued good health. Stay safe out there.